At first glance, the Panzer I C shouldn't matter. An experimental light tank, thin armor, rarely seen, barely remembered. Yet since the 2026 World Team Championships in Copenhagen, this little machine has become part of a much bigger conversation. In competitive bolt action, strange units sometimes reveal the most about the game itself, the meta, the psychology, and the players willing to take risks. Today on Lessons from the Front, I sit down with top wargamer Anders to discuss the World Team Championships and why he chose to field the Panzer I C in his tournament lists at WTC. Hi Anders, how are you?
I'm good. Hello.
Great. Nice to meet you. And welcome to the
you
channel. Thank you for joining us. Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. So if I could start by asking you, Anders, your brief history in wargaming and how you got into bolt action.
Yeah, I played some Warhammer Fantasy, 9th Age, stuff like that. Played some 40k all the way back in like 5th or 6th edition. Played Blood Bowl. And then I came across bolt action last winter, like not this winter, but like a year and a half ago. And I saw the whole drawing from back, alternating turns mechanic and snap mechanic, and I was like, that's cool. So I signed up for a rookie event. And that's it.
So
got into the game
you've only been playing for less than 2 years, 18 months.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 18 months since that rookie thing. Yeah.
Okay. And where do you wargame? Where do you do bolt action?
I have some wooden plates and terrain and stuff at home, so I can set up a table and have guests over and play. Yeah. Other than that, I would say I've been playing some practice games with the guys from the WTC Denmark 1 team. But other than that, actually only tournaments. I'm not the kind of guy who gets in 1, 2, 3, 4 games a week. It's more like, I would say at this point, I played like 35 games in total. And I would say 80% of my games played are probably tournament games. So
that's incredible. I've been reading a little bit about your performances, and you were at WTC, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, with Denmark 1.
With Denmark 1. Okay, so how did that happen? I mean, 18 months from not playing bolt action to representing Denmark and doing really well in the tournament.
Yeah, I went to the rookie night, and I remember this one thing where I was playing Christopher, a really nice Danish guy, and he had some pins on my Puma that had Recce, because I just bought a random painted army. It was like, I'm going to try out this game. It sounds cool. And then he was like, okay, so I have to roll to activate it. It has all these pins and all these rallies and stuff. I'm like, yeah. And I go, but why would I ever do that? I can just move it with the Recce rule, and we're playing breakthrough, so I'm not going to take the chance of taking the auto test. And Bo, the captain of Denmark 1, was at that point standing at the table next to me, and he kicked my foot, and he was like, that is the correct question to answer, whether you can do that or not. You have a good mind for this game. Do you mind coming to my place and having like an intro game? And I was like, yeah, sure. So the week after, I went to Bo's place and had a nice intro game where I played one of his friends while he gave advice and stuff. And after that game, he basically said, I would like for you to join some serious tournaments, and I'll give you some pointers and stuff. And I didn't join the Danish tournament season, if you can call it that. So I think it's in February or January maybe, I went to, what was that? That must have been the Danish Opens. Where I went to the final game undefeated and then drew in the final game, unfortunately. I made a rookie mistake and miscounted some kill dice and didn't ask my opponent the correct questions and stuff like that. So I basically threw the win, I feel like. Right. But that's how it is being a rookie. Yeah. And then I went to Jutland Open and won that. And I went to Zealand Open and won that. And then Bo was like, so do you want to be on the VTC team? And I was like, yeah, sure. Sounds cool. I'll go.
Well done. And that's an amazing little journey that you had over such a short time. What attracted me to wanting to chat with you was your use of Panzer I Cs. That seems crazy to me. Why?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have to say it's quite funny seeing how they're popping up in lists now.
You started
Because,
something.
yeah, I started something. I think it's a basic bold action philosophy. The guys on the WTC team also talked to me about the way I view the game is quite unique. Most players in bold action, they play safe and statically, and they don't take chances. And I like to play very aggressive, because I feel like if, for example, one of the first things I learned was, okay, if you're up 2 kill points, just play passively. I'm like, yeah, but if I'm up 2 kill points and I play passively and I get one unlucky roll, now it's a draw. I would rather push and win by 5.
Right.
And they were like, that's a weird mindset, but that's my bold action mindset. I want to win big, so that brings Panzer I and that kind of unit. Because when you buy a tank, you're paying for the tank, you're paying for the armor value, but you're also paying for some rules.
Right.
And if you have tracks and you're fully enclosed,
Yeah.
you can go over linear obstacles, you can tank assault, and in most tournaments you can tank assault into terrain.
Right. And the Panzer I C can do that.
Yes, and it's 100 points. And at the same time, they're armor 8. And a lot of the things that people like to take, like the heavy machine guns, the light autocannons, stuff like that, AT rifles, armor 8, I think is the sweet spot to pay for in order to be able to say, I don't care. Even like a light anti-tank gun moving on long range is like, okay, a 5 to hit, and then you have pen 3 and I'm in cover, I'll take it. So that's what I like about it at that price. But my thinking is you play 3 kinds of scenarios in bold action.
Right.
You play kill points, where tanks are always good. You play breakthrough, where cheap units that can move are good,
right,
which makes tanks at 100 points really good, especially fully tracked enclosed tanks.
Right.
And then you play objective missions, where tank assault is really good, because you can push people off objectives, and you can drive up through terrain and contest stuff.
Yeah.
And that is basically why I love tanks that are 100 points or something about that, like fully enclosed and tracked. And then the Panzer I, because it's German, it gets the extra machine gun shot, which is nice for pinning people while you're moving.
Right.
And it gets the weird gun. And that gun is perfect for the way I want to play my tank, because it's a pretty bad gun. It's not a very good gun.
Interesting. So
but
the Panzer I C is an experimental tank, right?
Yes, it is. So the gun has 2 shots.
Yeah.
But it gets penetration 3 if you're within 18 of the opponent. But it only has penetration 1 if the opponent is outside of 18. And it cannot shoot HE. Right. And also, if you roll a double 1, you lose one of your 2 shots. Right. So it's now very bad. But the thing is, if I want to play my tank in breakthrough, moving, or in objectives, moving up on objectives or tank assaulting your objectives, or in kill points where I conserve my infantry and smaller stuff and I try to move up and kill your small stuff with my tanks, my thought is I need a gun that is cheap and effective and kills stuff that gets too close to my tank. Right. So I think it's the perfect weapon for the price for that tank and that role. And that's why I've been spamming that tank. Right. I brought 3 to the WTC, yeah. And I then brought 2 of the Panzer III tanks that everybody's bringing, one with light and one with medium, the Daka Panzer III. And I would say in hindsight, I would rather have brought 5 Panzer I experimentals and more infantry or some heavy mortars or something, right. To be honest.
Why then not the Panzer III? It seems like a decent tank.
It's really good. But the thing is, the Panzer III has 12 MG shots, which is amazing. Right. It has armor 8. It's fully enclosed. It's fully tracked. It's really good, but it's 165 points. First off, the Panzer I C is very small. So you can get hard cover behind walls and right. barrels and shit, where the Panzer III is quite a big tank, so right. you can't.
Right.
That's annoying. You pay 65 points more, which is a lot of points. That's a whole backline holder, LMG squad, or whatever you want, right? Yeah. The medium AT gun is very good, but its main ability is that if you sit still, you get +1 to hit. But with those 3 objectives that we're playing, the breakthrough, the key objectives, and the kill points, well, you're not breaking through with a tank if it's sitting still getting a +1 to hit in ambush. You're not driving up on objectives and shooting it. Then you're hitting on 5s. You're not getting your to hit. So I think the problem is you're paying for 12 MG shots that are good, but when you're firing your gun, you're not firing 8 of them.
Right.
And if you're firing those 8 shots, you're not firing your cannon. And if you're not moving up and MGing small teams in kill points, you're wasting your cannon. It's like you're paying for a verticile tank that can do a lot of stuff. I get it.
Right.
But I don't think it's good enough, to be honest.
Right. So you're not making full use of those points. So wasting points, basically. I understand. Yeah. That's really cool. So before we end, I'd like to ask you if you have any tips for our viewers.
Yeah. I have a couple. That are. First off, I have to say, if you go to a tournament and you test out some of these moves I like to make, you might lose a tank or two.
Right.
There's this good old saying, shit happens when you party naked. And this play style fits that perfectly.
Right.
So, for example, I had a great game against Jackson from the Australian team. We had a training game, and we played timely objectives.
Right.
And I don't think he minds me telling this, because he also said it was a great game, and he learned from it. And he actually won his timely objective game, I think, at the WTC, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
But we played timely objectives, and he played Russians with double scouts, and I'm screwed. You know, he's going to move up on the objectives. He's going to sit on them. He's scoring from turn 1 or 2, and it's like it's tough, you know, right?
Yeah.
But one of the objectives was behind some hedgerows and some walls. That's linear terrain. So I placed 3 of my Panzer I experimentals on that side, and he was expecting me, of course, to move into the board, shoot something. I did not. I ran all my tanks in. 18, go. Then he goes on the objective, and he's like, okay, I have the objective. I start shooting his unit. He has 2 units near the objective and another unit behind it. I put 5 or 6 pins on one unit by split firing my tanks and my stuff. I then tank charge 2 tanks. 1 unit breaks because it has 5 pins and it needs to take 2 tests, 1 for each tank. The other unit, I place my tank. When I tank shock, I drive it up on the objective. I drive it more than 2 inches through the objective, and I drive it on the right side of the objective. He then needs to move away from me and keep an inch gap. So he's not within one of the objective unless he moves to the left side of the objective, which he of course does because he's a good player. But then with that snapper, I do the same thing with the other tank, the left side of the objective. I push him back, get the next dice, snap, move a half, run my tomb commander, get the objective. He dies, but it's now my objective, and you need to remove 2 tanks. And remember, these tanks are fully enclosed. They're not weak sides or vulnerable or anything. And they have guns that are very good at close combat engagements.
Right.
So all of a sudden, I turn a really bad situation where he's got to move up to objective into a very advantaged position where he needs to assault or tank ram or go close to like 2 tanks that are on ambush on an objective turn 3.
Yeah.
That's a problem. So that's the main idea behind these tanks. They're only 100 points. If they don't fire their guns and they just tank assault people to move them, it's okay.
Yeah.
But if you use a Panzer III for that, you're wasting a little too many points, right?
I've got you. That's really clearly explained. Thank you. How did you enjoy WTC?
I loved it. I think it was a great experience. I loved the team tournament aspect. I loved meeting people from different nations and seeing people I now consider close friends, but people I've seen around, like Manuel from the Spanish team, who is like the pinnacle of gentlemanly wargaming, and some of the Australian guys we trained with that visited me at my apartment. Yeah. Very nice people. So all in all, it was a great experience. I would say, coming from playing the games at a highly competitive level, I think improvement could be made. I think time management is a problem, and we have to consider stuff like chess clocks. And in my opinion, if you have a team tournament at a very highly competitive level, I like it to be the format where you have a team captain that is not playing, and he is allowed to communicate with the players at the table. Because I had a couple of instances where my opponent would say something in a foreign language to another guy, and I'm like, but that's cheating. And I know we can say, oh, but you can't communicate because it's cheating if I know whether he's drawing or whatever. If I'm winning, I'll go, yes, when I kill your tank. And my captain knows I'm winning because I just said yes very loud. Like, it's a very gray zone. So I like it better where you can't talk at all.
Right.
You're playing maybe a little way away from each other, but the captains can walk around and check in and say, I need you to stop pushing. I need you to play for draw. Do you think you can get me a win? It also makes it very interesting.
Yes. Increases the team dynamic, right?
It does. And it does one more thing that I really enjoy is that you can switch. The captain can be a switchable player. And when you're 5 rounds, is one person play every round. You can even go like, oh, I'm very mad at that person that you have very demanding. So let me be around whatever. You rest your. So I think we maybe should look into that. But all in all, I think it was a great experience. And we as a team ended up at 4th place, which is way above what we expected.
Yeah, well
I think we could have got first. It was very tight, so I'm a little disappointed. But 4th is very, very nice. Yeah. And on a personal level, I finished very well with a 5-1 finish, 5 wins and 1 loss. And the loss was against Russell from the Wales team. He's a great player, and we had a great banter around the table, but it was a time issue. It was like, can we manage to draw the dice in time? Who gets to move? Get to move. Yeah. So that's always frustrating, but at least he was a nice guy and it was a good game.
Do you mind if I show the viewers that joke that went out after the tournament? And would you mind? Would you mind sharing about that joke? Just tell us very quickly before we say goodbye.
Yeah, it's because we in the Danish team we've joked a little bit about me being like a fitness freak and like, oh, we have trained. I'm like, nah, I'm going to festival. Yeah. Like just like I like girls and music and training and doing push-ups and stuff. Yeah. And so we had this. If anybody ever plays against us at the next WTC. Yes. And a time wasting, I'll draw dice and I'll declare that I'm going in ambush on the parking lot and you can come meet me. And then it's on the picture from the gym and it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure the viewers appreciate the joke.
Yeah, it is. It's pure bullshit, but it's funny.
Yeah. Well, Anders, thank you so much for your time, and I'm sure the viewers have also appreciated hearing from you.
Yeah, I hope they can use it for something, or maybe one of them will write a comment saying you're wrong, you should do this, and then I can learn something. Because again, I've not played for that long, but I've had great success, like just making a plan, trusting the plan, and going all in on the plan, and that works. But now I just need to learn how to play more different armies and more different strategies and stuff like that. So I'm open to input from the viewers.
All right, viewers. So you've heard it from Anders himself. Please do write a comment and let's see if we can get this conversation moving on. All right, Anders, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best for the rest of your bolt action career.
Thank you, and thank you for making content this week. Keep the community going.